Okay, well, this weekend I went to see the movie SpongeBob, the new SpongeBob. It actually came out on February 6th, the 37th day of the year. Um, but anyway, it I wasn't expecting it to have as much stuff in it as it does. And I can't find an English version. It's only in Spanish. But I'm gonna do a little decode here and just kind of show some things because it was this movie was so blatant. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it. Hide it. It was just nuts. But first off, I mean, so in the first movie, it's all about Neptune and whatnot, and then this movie is called Sponge Out of Water. So it's almost like Neptune is rising. Okay, so basically, this whole movie is that Plankton is trying to steal the Krabby Patty recipe like he always does. But he gets it, and then him and SpongeBob are kind of fighting for it in this bottle, and then the bottle it just disappears or whatever. And what happens is it basically causes the apocalypse because they don't have Krabby Patties anymore, and it's like yeah, the apocalypse is coming. So and they blame all the people blame SpongeBob and Plankton for it. So uh, these guys decide to build a time machine and go back in time to get the recipe or whatever to save the world. And I can't even remember. I can't wait until this movie actually comes out in English and I can understand what they're saying because they some of the things they say is so blatant. But anyway, they show P like at least 2 or 3 times, and I mean that's 16. I don't know if that means 2016 or I mean this is plankton, for P, but there's a different spot where there's just a random letter P. And I don't even know if I can find it now, but it also one of the times one of the times it's an 8 with a P or something like that, and I remember seeing it in the theater. That's 816. The Georgia Guidestone cubes again. Also, a lot of famous people have died on that day. But anyway, I'm gonna move on here. So then, when the apocalypse is happening, there's a news reporter on, and it says BB in the corner for it doesn't show it because whoever recorded this didn't get it all, but it shows BB for Bikini Bottom. That's the name of the town or the area they live in. So 88, and then this guy comes up and says that the solution is love, and we know that it's the opposite of love is what they're promoting. So it's really weird that he says there's no Krabby Patties, but the solution is love. So then there's like a real life pirate, and he is like writing the story of this movie. And these birds rip out the page and they throw it in the water, and because he wrote the end on it, and then it falls in the water, and it lands on Sandy Cheek's little bubble, and it's behind. And so SpongeBob comes over and asks her if she knows like what's going on in the world or whatever, what's happening, and there's this constellation right here, and I don't know if it's a fake one or I don't know if it's a design of a real one, but when she pulls it down, it says the end. It has the page with the end. But basically, the whole thing is that's why they go out of water, is to get that guy steals the recipe, and he owns like a Beard's Burger, another BB reference, but he actually in real life stole the Krusty Krab recipe, so they go out of the water to steal it back from this pirate. But he can write the story, so he can basically rewrite history and send them anywhere he wants and any time and point. But since they have this page, they can write on it and they can change his story. But they have to build a time machine and all this other stuff. But basically, I don't know. It just makes me wonder what this constellation is supposed to represent. And then it says the end. I don't know if it's, I'd like to know what it is what it might represent, I guess. Here's where it says the end or whatever. I just wanted to show you what it looks like, I guess. So then when they're building the time machine here, it's this like photo booth, and you cannot see it on here. It's very difficult, but the clock actually is on the 8 and 11, so it's 8:55 or 8:11 or 88. And then to get it going, he has to spin the clock or whatever. So he actually spins it at 8 o'clock. That's when the time machine starts going, is at 8 o'clock. And when they first start building it, the clock is on 8:55. So that's, I mean, I guess it must be 7:55. I don't know. Well, or it takes them a day. I don't know. That's really weird. But I do know that when they first start building it, it literally is on 8 and 11. And then this is 8 o'clock here when they first start it. And the first place they travel to, if it's in the future, and Patrick is up here buried in sand, and he mentions something about 4, and then SpongeBob kind of like says something back about 4, I remember. So there was 2 4 references, and then when they stopped here, like you said, you can't see it, but the clock is on 4 and 2. So, I mean, it's a 44 a couple times just in their first stop in time. So then their second stop is they go to this triangle thing in outer space, and I'll show you it in a second, but the guy in there, or the thing in there, is a dolphin, and he's like the guy who has been watching and controlling time and everything for the last 10,000 years. And so dolphins are actually the messengers of Neptune. So it's really weird, you know, it's pretty crazy that he's like working as a guy who's controlling the time or whatever, and he's making sure nothing bad happens, and he's a dolphin. I mean, it's just really crazy. It's really blatant. And SpongeBob, if he can watch over everything while he goes to the bathroom. And here's the triangle that I wanted to show you. They're out in outer space in a triangle. But while SpongeBob watches it, it has Saturn and Jupiter out here. And when he's watching it, the worlds collide. You know, it's just nuts. Like, he's watching it and Saturn and Jupiter crash into each other. I mean, so this is what it's like when worlds collide. So here's a picture before they collide here. You got Saturn and Jupiter. And then check out SpongeBob's eyes on this next little part. It's like he's like in a trance or mesmerized by the 2 planets. I mean, look at that. It just looks like he's like sucked into it, and he's controlled by it, you know? That's all I can say. And then, so the planets crash here, and then the dolphin comes back out, and then Saturn's rings fall off. I'm not sure what that completely signifies, but it's maybe it's the cube is broke or something. I'm not sure, but then the dolphin gets mad and he tries to kill him, so they run and leave. But this whole scene is just ridiculous. Like I said, I can't wait for the actual movie to come out so I can do a better decode. But I just felt like I needed to put this out here because it was so ridiculously blatant. Also, I cannot find it. It's so hard to see with this terrible quality. But there was a part where the clock was on 10 and 4 also. So October 24th, 10:04, Back to the Future, just all kinds of stuff. But I know that it said 10:04 at one point on this time machine as well. And right here, they think SpongeBob thinks he got the recipe again, so they're getting ready to go back to their normal time. But they got the X up here, the white X and the blue whatever. And I made a video a while back about the guy who wrote the New Year's Eve song, who died at age 37. He is the Great Scott, and the Great Scott and Back to the Future. But I mean, that literally looks just like the flag of Scotland right there. And then you got the Great Scott, and this movie's all about time travel. Now I'm starting to wonder if like this type of cross is actually in like a lot of time travel movies, just in the background, and just never noticed it. So I'm gonna maybe look and see. I don't know, just a guess, I guess. And here's where I said the pirate guy also, he drives his boat up on the land, and he has a burger shop, and it's called Beard's Burgers, so the double B. Also, I noticed, and it gets closer on a different scene, but I can't find it. It's probably a few seconds here, but they have the black and white checkerboard floor on the inside of the time machine. And then later on, they can smell Krabby Patties, and they find out that it's actually on land. And the time dolphin comes and helps them. and shoots him out of his blowhole onto the land. And so that's when they come out of the water or whatever, and they all like they rewrite the story and they turn themselves into superheroes, and then they fight the pirate guy. And here's just a picture of all of them as superheroes, so you kind of get the point of what I was talking about, how they turn into superheroes. He has bubbles powers, and who knows, just kind of stupid. And then at the very end, Plankton's superhero body saves the recipe, and he actually gives it back and whatever. But look at him. He's a big green monster. I mean, green is the key word there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just stop it right there. Then, basically, I'm definitely gonna do a better decode of this when a good English speaking version comes out. But just wanted to point it out that I mean, the movie came out on the 37th day. They talk about and they show 44 more than once. They have 88 references. The movie is all about time travel, and then they actually even do a reference to like Neptune and the dolphins, and Saturn and Jupiter. And then I seen this article, and it talks about how SpongeBob made $55 million to swamp Jupiter Ascending and Seventh Son at the box office. I mean, so I guess Neptune beat out Jupiter, but 55 million, that was the key one, 55. And then this is another movie I actually wanted to watch, The Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. I think it's like an Iron Maiden song even. Just some crazy stuff, but just wanted to point that out. This movie was actually just blew my mind a lot. I didn't expect it when I went to see it. So anyway, have a great night.